Running Home Assistant off of an SD card is dumb. So I'm gonna put the motorcycle part in here to start off its journey. That is the end of Makita. We'll get back to it in another video. Still gotta take the tag off. Gotta pull the motorcycle in here. But I gotta get on to other stuff, because believe it or not, I'm really busy. I'm a busy guy. So thanks for watching. See you guys later. What's going on? JakeOfALL here, and I have a problem. If you look, I got a lot of shit. Kidding, let me fix my pants. Okay, don't actually need the glasses. It's for reading. So, JakeOfALL. If you didn't know by the name, hi, welcome, you're new here. I do lots of stuff, hence JakeOfALL. And if we all wanted to trace down the history of that expression, it's sort of like jack of all trades, expert at none, but one of many is better than one of none. So, I don't know. All I know is I do a lot of stuff, and I think I do a pretty good job at it, and I like to share. That's sort of where the whole thing started. And again, if you're new here, it's me, JakeOfALL. This is what I like to show off.
Wait, who
my
are
life.
you? One more
I
time?
am Jake.
Are you sure?
Jake is short for JakeOfALL. It's like Jack of all. I know. I'm not trying to be condescending, but some people don't get it. And it's mainly the people on the other end of the phone call that go, how do you say that email address? But here we are. We're in the office. We're in the IT lab, whatever you want to call it. And
Cluster.
I've gotten 2 requests by not a princess. Actually by a queen. But we're not arguing. She would like...
This one? This queen right here?
Yeah. She would like to be fed every 5 seconds.
She would like a lot of things, but she's 20. So we give them to her. Yes, you say I'm old.
And I was joking. We're not putting her down. She just likes to throw up a lot. And I like to throw up, as you can see.
Technologically.
We had a problem. Had to unload the rack. But Jen had a request about speakers. You can show them the speakers. And you also have an outdoor area full of plants.
Well, yes, that
and she wants speakers out there.
I'd also like my computer facing a different direction, but you know, beggars can't be
Not
choosers.
this video. That can be home episode 3. What we're gonna do in this video, which you saw the previous one where we tore up the laundry room, we got to get some cable management done. We have to finish the trim on the rack. I did get the outlet situation figured out, the 3-way traced and figured out. It's not completely fixed, but we do have a hallway light. We've got a server rack mounted. We have a server
cat door and heating bed.
Yes, this has become the cat door and the heating bed for them to go in the garage and make a mess. But also, if you come around here, you're going to see a little bit of some unorthodox construction. Like an engineering workstation held up by 2x6s. It's pressure treated. But I need to get to this server. And as you can see, that server's holding this server. And then we have stuff like the fan controller is working now, but we want to get that sort of finalized. And cable management. Now, this goes in the wall, and all this cable goes everywhere, and all these servers need to get organized. And what am I getting them organized for? We had another server up there that was Home Assistant, and it died.
Why did it die, Jake?
It died because when you go down the rabbit hole of reading how to set up Home Assistant, one of the things you find out after you've already gotten all of your devices added is that running Home Assistant off of an SD card is dumb. In fact, this server has dual SD cards for like when you're running VMware. That way you can have a redundant card because SD cards fail. Turns out, just like Tesla's, that if you write lots of data to a solid state like hard drive that is sort of embedded, it fails. So we have another server, but this one's a little too big. So we have another server. And the best part about it is I've had fun on Facebook Marketplace and eBay.
Oh, he's had so many meetups in the.
We've
terrible.
Yeah, you would have never thought that meeting IT people in an alley would be something on your Pingo card, right? But here we go. We got rails for the workstation, rails for the big server, and back there somewhere we got rails for the little server. So in this video, I know, long intro, we're gonna try to get this office cleaned up. We're gonna get rails mounted in the rack. I'm not gonna show you mounting rails and things like that. We'll put on a time lapse. We'll get the equipment out, we'll get everything on rails, and then we'll come back and we'll start talking. We're gonna put labels on servers and moving cables around and things like that so that this looks like an office and not an IT room. When we come back, we're going to have the camera set up. You guys can see me strip the stuff out of the rack that needs to be moved. And yeah, we'll be back. This is a custom kit we got, and then this is IKEA, and boom, and you know, perfect height, not bending over. But come here, let me show you. Speaking of not bending over.
Does this mean this stuff's gonna be out of my space soon?
This is. So the extremely expensive, which is funny when you spend way too much money on a computer, how then even the accessories, you spend too much. But this computer actually supports out of the box a rack mount kit, which you can see I am installing now. I personally wish it had more of a cutoff here, but whatever. It's pretty cool. This one I got unused but open box on eBay, and you can see. But actually what I started noticing, I don't know if they can see that on the camera. Can you see that? You see that weird bend in this end?
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be fun, but I'm getting all of these installed. They even put this cool little, like if it's a square, it's for this model. Very convenient.
Hold on, fanfare. Queen's in the room. What's up, ma'am? She's like, hey, you got any snacks?
4 parts total get installed. 2 screws per part. That's 8 screws. This kit from HP is like $400. And then they come with these, which are pretty heavy. And if we backwards walk over there, here we go. This is sort of, I hope, the final layout. This is where that workstation goes. This is the shelf that definitely couldn't hold it.
Oh, it's missing the wood.
Yeah, I grabbed all of this out of there. And what I think I'm going to do, because people ask me why I don't put some of this in my IoT rack, right? My networking rack. But these all have antennas in them.
Including the wood?
Yeah, it's wood fiber.
Ah.
Wood fiber. It's fiber optic.
But
Well, I mean, they do say. But I have this shelf left and that big one, but I'm thinking this one might be it. And as long as the rack mount monitor that I put in here doesn't block it off, I might do something like this. That way, Zigbee and Z-Wave and all that other stuff, instead of it being in the laundry room, it's on this side of the house. It's sort of pushed out that way. I got drive trays coming. I got this one populated with the hard drives that I have. Trying to figure out what NAS software I want to play with. So if you guys have comments below, TrueNAS and Unraid is sort of where I'm thinking at. But I might also mess around with Proxmox. I've been watching a ton of YouTube videos on differences, and none of them are close to IT, like enterprise solutions, and that sort of has me bothered. So I might just throw Hyper-V on it, but USB pass-through, that's what I need. So I could do ESX, that's another thought. This would give me some fun ESX lab at home, and then if I did ESX on that one, I might get rid of 2012, and I think I have 2022 on this one. I could do 2 ESX hosts. I don't know. So comment below on that. But this guy is going to come in here. And I got to do some weird in-between math, but I've never mounted these before. So I'm going to figure that out, and then come back, and you'll see the little stop motion, or what's it called? Time lapse. Excuse me. I've got to blank this off because that guy right there,
the queen, ma'am,
likes to crawl through here, and you can tell.
How are you, baby?
By this cat here. Oh, you're looking at her.
Well, yeah, she's pretty. Oh boy.
because that's her. She likes to... Yeah.
Warm spaces. She's 907.
There is absolutely dirty, poopy cat prints on that server that I moved. So it was fun while it lasted on the ground, but it's gotta move. So I'm gonna put blanks on here. I need a bigger UPS, but for now I'll just set all the other UPSs behind all the blanks. We'll keep her out of the rack. I don't think she'll jump this high.
She hasn't jumped that high since I've had her.
Right. But yes, and then this will get fixed off camera. So we'll be back, but I think let's go ahead and use this point to introduce other Jake, who's going to go ahead and work on your speakers real quick. Thank you for making that intro, Jacob. Let me go ahead and turn this down. We wouldn't want to get copyright because, you know, she's got the money. So those are my really expensive bookshelf speakers that Jen has been using, and I have a secret. We're going to put those up on those shelves, hence bookshelf. So I got a friend over at Studio Phoenix, and they sent us some outdoor ones because I didn't want to take those massively expensive ones there and put them outside as well. And she wants audio, Jen that is, in 2 places. So look at this. If you look here real quick, I'm going to show you. Those are index marks. That's for the bracket. It's got banana checks. It can be direct mounted. You can see there we have a woofer, a tweeter, and that looks like a port. Little mesh. It's got a bracket. We're going to put them up outside real quick in this little commercial because it's not going to take long because they're super easy to install. So let's go outside. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Bracket. I have one off the speaker, and I line it up here on the ceiling where I want it to angle because this direction, unless I use the center hole, I'm going to use 2 anchors, which I'm not going to use the center hole because I'm going just to the drywall, so I'm going to use hollow wall anchors. So I'm going to line it up. I made my 2 marks, put the anchors in. We'll be back when the bracket's up. Well, as promised, bracket's up. I have my banana plugs plugged in because I home run wire all the way back to the other end of the house, but you guys know that. So all I have to do is clip these into the speaker and put these 2 screws on, and I'll show you how it can adjust. And I got a little crab rave going. You look all the way over there, and there we've got them both. I'm gonna go ahead, pause the music, and show you. So those little screws I showed you in the intro, there's one on each side. I'm basically just gonna loosen these, and then so I can aim it down, I can aim it more out to the yard.
So it's not a one and done.
Correct. It's going to give us a lot of flexibility on our mounting and where sound's going to go. And easily hang there without any problem. And like I said, these Studio Phoenix speakers got the 2 going. They're stereo. We've got the other 2 on inside of the house, the nice bookshelf speakers. But for outside, we wanted more sound, and we wanted it to be outdoor rated, which these are. And they sound good. Thank you, Studio Phoenix. So you guys saw the little commercial that we threw in there, sponsor the videos. You know, sometimes you gotta do it. But we've got stuff working, so super helpful that we were able to have the outdoor speakers. But let me turn this down. So we have the amplifier, okay? Cool thing, I showed you the jacks. We've got this panel thing going here, and if I didn't go into that, we're going to go into a little more detail at the desk, but if you want to go ahead and take a look up here, we have got, this is a 3D printed keystone panel, and these
I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah, and these are pass-through connectors, and what we're going to do is the Z-Wave and the Zigbee antennas will come out here. I also could put like an infrared. There's a whole bunch of different jacks that you can get for these, and this can vent. I've got trim on here. We are probably changing all the trim in the house. And I know we talked about doing a track door, but we have guests coming over and we're getting married. Woohoo! So figured to throw the trim up. We got the top piece of trim in there. We have a gap, if you want to see here, or a dado.
Nothing like major home renovation projects 4 days before everybody shows up.
Exactly. So this will get LED strips. That's probably going to be the next video. I had a KVM and a
Died a slow,
monitor.
painful death.
That did not work. So I am looking for an inexpensive. You guys know any solutions? What I would actually prefer is a rack mount monitor and a keyboard that slides out. I do not want the monitor. I want the monitor always deployed. If I end up filling this whole space, well, goody. But moving down. We've got the server up and running. That one's got a bezel for it. I need to get a new bezel for this one. I need to get RAM for this. But thank you, OpenAI. Workstation is physically mounted, but some of the cables aren't long enough.
Oh, you got rid of Mam's cat door.
I know. So yeah.
How is the queen supposed to toast her buns on your server now?
Right. She can't get through there. She'd have to go through there or through here. And I wouldn't put it against
She's old
him
and doesn't jump.
Jumping up there, but her. The other thing is there is a Bluetooth receiver. I'm going to move down to this shelf. But let me show you a little bit more about these, and then we'll end this video. So these are the keystone panels I was telling you about. So this is a little setup the guy designed, which has a whole bunch of different options. You can see we printed one in gray. This is for a Phillips hue with 2 keystones. So say, for example, you put this in your rack, okay, and it's a simple bolt together. You put your Phillips hue in here. You still have a place to where you can hit the little pair button, and then you could have a port going around to the back, and then you could have another one going to patch it down. If you wanted to keep it looking like all of your ports were on the front of your rack. This one is for it without. And then we were able to even 3D print
a whole bunch of those little buggers.
those keystone covers. So this is all, along with this, for the next video where we're going to be punching down all of the cables for the 2 network racks. And I actually got this little guy out recently. So this is, I called it like a Z something drive, Z Turbo. It's sort of Dell's version of the HP drive. All of them sort of did one of these IO accelerators, which is enterprise solid state drives on a card. So this is what the VM for Home Assistant's going to run on, 640 gigs. So if I have to give Home Assistant any more space than that, that's hilarious. But everything in memory and the actual hard disk itself will run on that. We'll get the network rack clean up with these. We'll get everything punched down. The stuff that is like this, meaning like home automation, will get punched down with this. Otherwise, all the network drops will get the Ubiquity, and we will get the network rack cleaned up. So she got music, and as you can see,
I got a new leaf. Well, and I moved my desk.
we have the inside and the outside speakers running, Bluetooth and wired, you name it. I'd say this is a good setup. The HomeLab doesn't have to be just about you. You can make your significant other super excited. Just put on some royalty-free music, make a YouTube video, tell her all those expenses so that she can have audio too. I'm gonna probably go do some PACKOUT stuff because I got guests coming, so I gotta go disappear.